Alright. Hi everyone. Sailor Moon here and Sailor Neptune here. And today we're going to talk about about how Unstraight were handled by Dic And Cloverway. And why do we always come up with this? Is that a lot of folks out there, some of them in the Sailor Moon followership, seem to believe that they were handled the wrong way. That the mindset or stand that some folks have now should have been the mindset and stand back in the day. Well, first off, the mindset or stand that the folks have these days about being unstraight and what it means to be unstraight, it's not the same mindset and stand that it was a long time ago. You see, yes, in Sailor Moon there were folks who were unstraight. Yeah, Zoisite and Malachite. If you go by any other offshoot of Sailor Moon, yes, they were unstraight. And Dic, Zoisite was a woman. Later on, in Cloverway, Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune were unstraight lovers, but if you go by what Cloverway did, they were near kin. Now, and some folks might say, oh well, what about Fisheye? Well, to my understanding, Fisheye was a woman in every offshoot of Sailor Moon, so I'm sorry. I don't really think she's on that list. But here's the grounds to why many of those things. Here is why Zoisite had to become a woman. First off, there were folks who felt that anyone being unstraight, if it was in a show, film, or play, it was wrong. Well, they doubly thought that was wrong if it was a show that was being made for kids. Why? Who knows? But that's what they believed. It isn't like the mindset and stand today. So, Dic didn't want to be in that, did not want to get in a bind with any of these folks that, would be angry or irked over it. Now you might say, oh well, they didn't want their kids watching it, they could shift it off. Yeah, that's true. But which say you have someone who that's not good enough for them. They have to call the folk work or write the folk work. Then the folk work gets, a lot of folks start calling in or writing in or whatever, saying they didn't like what they saw on this show. And then either the folk work has to tell Dic that, well, you can't do the show now because this, or this came up. And the show gets dropped or ended. And Dic didn't want to be in that bind, so that's why Zoisite became a woman. And some of you folks thought that the mindset and stand that folks have now was not the same mindset or stand that folks have now about it. We'll go on. You're right, Sailor Moon. At the end of the day, a lot of folks did not have the same mindset about it or thought about it that they have now. By the time Cloverway got the rights to work with the show, it was 20-0. But at the end of the day, the mindset or stand did not shift that much at that time. Cloverway still would have been in a bind if they didn't do anything. And some folks think that, oh, Cloverway only called them near kin to make fun of Dic for Dic having to clean that up or shift it. Well, Cloverway would have been in that same bind too. So Cloverway called us both near kin. And I guess that was the only grounds that they could come up with for the kinship that we were in. Now, I know a lot of folks now would say that a lot of folks could see through that, and I guess that's true. It's not like it is now where it's not really a big deal anymore by some folks. After a lot of folks learned about it, or took the time to learn about it. And some folks out there don't really see a big deal with it anymore. That doesn't mean to say there are not folks that think that way, but there are more folks that don't think that way. So that's why now it can be in a show, film, or play, and no one would really be that angry or irked over it. But sadly now, you can get away with that. But back in the day, Dic and Cloverway could not get away with it. So that's why. And as far as we get to the last fellow, and the last we get to Fisheye, and a lot of folks say, oh, wasn't Fisheye a man who clothed and who liked to, have put on women's clothes? Well, can I handle this one? Yes. Well, Sailor Jupiter, Sailor Neptune, when we get back to Fisheye, my belief is that Fisheye, from what I've seen from both the Cloverway and Dic take, and Toei take, is that Cloverway was that Fisheye, or Fish's Eye, whatever you want to call her, was a woman. So there was no really any cleaning up, except they did have to kind of cut out any time she didn't have clothes on. But beyond that, that was the only time. So they really didn't have to do anything because Fisheye was already a woman. So at the end of the day, the grounds to why Dic and Cloverway had to do cleaning or shifting around of folks who were unstraight, because at the time the mindset was, if you're making a show or a play or a film for children, it can't have anything that has to do with being unstraight. There were a lot of things a lot of folks didn't think was right, and at the time that was the mindset and stand. Now you can probably do that and no one really would care. Well, I don't know, some wouldn't, some would not. But now it's not a big deal. Back then it was. So, and for all you folks out there who believe that, believe that Dic or Cloverway should have just left it alone, well, your guess is good as mine. But anyway, I think at the end of the day they did what they thought they had to do to get by. And it must have worked because no one seemed to be irked or angry over it. But I don't know if my show was the first show to ever have selves that were like that. There may have been other shows that may have had unstraight folks in it. And a lot of folks like to say my show was the first. Need be it was, I don't know. But all I'm telling you, that's why Dic and Chloe had to do some cleaning on it. Can I end it now? Yeah. If you like this film, then follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Watch the other film that we made yesterday over here with Sailor Moon and Sarah Uranus. I, Sailor Neptune Michelle, and I, Sailor Moon Serena, and I'll see you later.